Yeah, no doubt. One more sip of courage. I'm stealing from you. Woo. Okay, that one was tougher.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
No shades today.
Yeah, I hear you.
No shades. All right. I know if they can hear us out there in live stream world.
Yeah. They'll let us know.
They can hear y'all.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. And then, as far as hosting goes, let's just go off of each other. Like, I don't even care who goes first, and we'll just help each other.
Yep.
Yeah. Like just the introduction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Should be okay.
There you go. Are you starting us off?
Yeah.
All right. I'll piggyback off of you.
Okay.
Yeah, baby. We look good.
Yes, sir.
We look real good.
We always look good.
Yeah, man.
Hey, welcome into a live edition of the Sportaholics. We've got a duo purpose video tonight. But to Russ's point, you think about all of these rule changes that cater to offense. And I go to the game against the Chargers and Steelers, which we're going to hit on later anyway.
Right.
Between two quarterbacks that are playing relatively well,
Right.
Pretty good football between Herbert. I know he left the game early and Justin Fields. Final score was 20-10.
Right.
Yeah.
But before we move on to all of that stuff, because I did want to get into some other things, other rules about the game that I do like. But if you guys are just joining us, by all means, come in, get comfortable. Like I said earlier, my boy Peyton's in the flip flops. We both got on our shorts, so you having a good time tonight, man. We're gonna be watching some of the Jags versus Bills game, and we're gonna also be recapping some of the games that happened this weekend. Right now, we're talking about some of the rules that
are supposed to cater to offense, which they are, but we're still seeing league-wide scores and touchdown passes being low. In terms of what we've seen in recent years.
So if you're watching this live stream, do me a favor, tag a friend, tell them to tune in, especially if they are a lover of the game of football. If you know they were watching football all weekend long, by all means, tell them to pull up, man. Tell them to pull up. We'll be waiting for them. We're talking ball all day. So going back to it, one of the other rules that I love so much, the ability to challenge. I thought that was a major part of football when coaches were allowed the ability to challenge the play, and because the referees are in the game and they can't see everything all at once. So the ability to challenge for me has been very, very crucial to the game and where we are right now.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And honestly, going back to hitting a defenseless receiver, even going back 15, 20 years ago at the beginning of Tom Brady's run, he talked about when he would play against the Baltimore Ravens, and if he threw over the middle at a certain point in the game, there's a chance that his receiver would get taken out of the game because of the same Lewis or still, in a sense. So that's how the game, we're still seeing these low scores. And there's always going to be resistance. As much as you try to use the rules and cater to offense, not only are the athletes bigger, faster, stronger than ever, but we always talk about innovative offense. What about innovative defense as well? Teams on the fly.
Yeah. I mean, the ability to disguise defense has grown so much. Like, you'll see no high safety on the snap. You'll see one high, two high, whatever the case may be. I think the game, as old as the game of football is, still transforming, because now you have these different minds that come into the game and they're so innovative in the way that you operate. It's really good to see.
And ultimately, sports is safe. Like, things go back and forth. It's not crucial.
So one rule that I did want to mention, it goes back into the safety rule, and it was introduced this year. They've been kind of keeping an eye out for it, which is the hip tackle. I think that's so important because not only that, we've seen so many injuries in the past where the defenders can climb on someone's back and just kind of put all their weight down on them. So, like I said before, safety rules for me is number one. I'll always be number one, and as long as we can play ball and keep everybody as safe as possible, I'm all.
Yeah. And you're credit, you talked about how rookies can't just come in and dominate, especially at the quarterback position, because we've seen Caleb, but I don't want to put anybody out. You talk about the veteran quarterbacks. We'll look on the top of the veteran quarterbacks. They're just succeeding, and that's pretty snap.
It's far and wide on how older quarterbacks can see and read the game compared to, wide-eyed quarterbacks who are getting their first few snaps in the league. So, and it's a reason why certain quarterbacks in the game have 18, 19-year careers, and what's kept them in that seat for so long. So, Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Let's get to the games, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna fly through these games, man. By all means, we want to make sure that we have time for the Jags game versus the Bills in Buffalo. So let's go ahead and kick it off, man. We're gonna start with Bears versus Colts.
Yeah.
What were some of your takeaways from the Bears versus Colts this week?
I thought it was imperative to start with this game because we have what you just alluded to, what I just alluded to. The two young quarterbacks playing. One of them's a rookie, one of them's in his second year. Struggled at times, multiple turnovers, but was still a wildly entertaining game.
Mm-hmm.
If you were watching it on the side, I mean, I know I was keeping an eye on the Eagles safety for the most part, but just having a side tab on this game was very entertaining because it was back and forth, it was up and down the field, and there were turnovers at times, but that's a great example. As talented as those guys are between Caleb and Anthony Richardson, because personally, I think each of those guys are generational talents. Now, obviously, Anthony has polishing to do. Caleb's got to polish his game to some degree as well. The final score was 21-16. It was a bit of an ugly game at times.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because with most of these picks and most of these games that we're talking about tonight, I went ahead and was more focused on the defensive side because, like you mentioned before, we've seen a lot of low-scoring games, and by all means, I want to give the defense some credit, and I don't want to always seem like I'm just talking about the offense as much. So, me being an offensive player, I can tend to lean on offense and watch them a little bit more. And like the old adage goes, man, like offense sells tickets, defense win ball games. So, by all means, well, win championships. So, ball games, championships, same thing. But yeah, man, the defense of the Colts this weekend was stingy, bro. Not only did they kind of smother the run when it comes to the Colts, but they only allowed a little bit over two yards when it came to carries for that defense. So it was good. Especially it was good to see them buckle down on that run, especially after they allowed over 400 yards of rushing in the first week. So
quite an adjustment there.
Right. So it's good to see them come into their own, and this is one of those games especially for a young Anthony Richardson. I'm gonna say young, not only in the game of football in general. He's young. He's only had 1 year to play at Florida, and he was going majority
rookie and he missed some games.
Exactly. So he's definitely young when it comes to taking snaps in the game of football. So he's gonna need to lean on his defense a lot, but they definitely handled business, and I was happy.
It was a bit of a wild game.
Yeah.
Just watching from a far view.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, there's another turtle.
Now I will say, Caleb Williams broke the seal off of his touchdown passes. He finally got his first one in, ball to Roman Doomsday in the corner of the end zone. So it was good to see them. One thing about that is they didn't know who was going to get the game ball. It was both of their first touchdowns, so they were actually pretty confused on who was going to take that ball. I say take the air out of it, slice it down the middle, and both of y'all find it. I like that. Yeah. So you want to move on? Vikings, Texans.
Vikings as well, man. When I was watching the highlights of this one, because I saw bits and pieces, like I said.
Yeah.
It's great when you have a wide receiver one like Justin Jefferson. He can really be a catalyst for an offense. And that's what I saw early on in this game.
Yeah.
The defensive backs, as good as the Texans have back there, it's hard to press him. You're going to have to give him some cushion, and he takes advantage of the underneath routes and then gets those yards after the catch.
Yeah.
He had the first touchdown of the game. And from what I saw, the Vikings were a little better situationally in this game than the Texans were. The Texans were actually moving the ball up and down the field quite a bit.
Right.
But the Vikings just had those third down stops. They converted on their third down. So the last thing I'll say for this one, the Texans are going to be fine. They got blown out. They just met a hot team.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what it was, man. We've seen the Vikings come out and do some things, especially after J.J. McCarthy went down. Similar story to what's happening in Pittsburgh. Like, we didn't expect the offense to be as high-powered as it is. And they've come out and they've shut everybody up, and they've been doing a hell of a job playing ball on Sundays. So big ups to them for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Shoot, we can move right along. Oh, this one hurts my heart, but we are going to go to the Eagles Saints. It's all right.
I'm gonna let you take it away, Peyton. So
the Saints actually got off to a pretty good start this one. They scored on the first drive. They didn't score again until I think the fourth quarter.
Right.
So ultimately, what it came down for me to me was the fact that the Saints were in too many obvious passing situations. In the first 2 weeks, they were on schedule.
Yeah.
Lots of first and second down efficiency, and
Yeah.
then in this one, lots of third and medium, third and longs. And I think the offensive line got exposed to some extent. They can still get better because it is a relatively young offensive line.
Right.
But that was the main difference because the Eagles had a bunch of third down conversions in that one.
Yeah.
I thought that was the difference in the game.
I mean, at the end of the day, you guys fought hard all the way into the end. That the Eagles just, man, I'm not gonna say they outpowered you guys because it was a very back and forth game, and at the end of the day, when the Saints looked like they were gonna go on to win, the Eagles just found a way, and that's nothing to hold your hat on. You know, like, you gotta understand that you've been playing good ball. You can't win them all. Some people want to, but you can't win them all. So take the positives from this game, move on to the next week, and
Only the Dolphins.
I don't even want to talk about those
Well,
guys.
I just decided to bring it up.
Listen, you know, we need to. I commend those guys, but that record has been shattered by all means. The most wins in a single season that has been shattered.
Yeah.
But we do hold on to the fact that we have the most wins in a season and a Super Bowl.
Right.
But, you know, that's neither here nor there. And the Chiefs are looking to take that on, and we'll talk about their game a little bit later. But they look pretty powerful.
And I don't know what time it is, but I feel like we got a lot of games to hit on.
Let's do it.
The next one I'm looking at was the Chargers Steelers. Now, this goes without saying, but it was a bit of a throwback.
Yeah.
Just tell by the score. I mean, you had two great safeties in that game between Minka Fitzpatrick and Derwin James, and they were hitting.
Yeah.
They were out there playing solid games.
So I'm gonna just take over a little bit here. So this is a Steelers team. Like, let's not forget, Russell Wilson was projected to be the starting quarterback in the league, right? So with Russell Wilson going down, it seemed like they were fumbling everything, like, and scrambling, trying to figure out what was going on. Granted, they had Justin Fields, but it didn't seem like the organization was too confident in what Fields would bring to the table. So, with that being said, this is a team who got out the blocks fast, and they were able to jump into a 3-0 record. Like, nobody predicted that they would be one of the undefeated teams after 3 weeks. Nobody predicted that. So, you know, like I said, they had questions about the quarterback, and they thought they would have to lean on a Mike Tomlin defense for the majority of the way. And while they are still doing that, this was the week where the offense kind of came into its own.
For sure.
So this week,
they seemingly make the plays when they need to make them.
Yeah. Justin Fields, he had 2 tutties.
Yeah.
And
By the way, he was 15 of 18 at one point in the game. Pretty darn efficient.
Come on, man. And this goes back to the conversation that me and you had a couple of weeks ago. Like, I think he didn't get the right opportunity. Like, and granted, this opportunity was kind of thrown on him because, like I said, going back to Russell Wilson, they were not going to give him the opportunity to be a starter, but because Russell Wilson went down, he had no choice but to kind of figure it out moving forward. And no better experience than hands-on-the-job experience. You get in there, and then you figure it out from there.
I mean, no better experience.
Yeah.
Like, with the way the Steelers defense is playing right now,
yeah,
I don't know what situation would have been better for him. Because me and you talked about this, we know how talented he is.
Yeah.
So to let him be patient and just grow his game and develop as the season wanes.
Yeah.
Man,
Bro,
scary.
I couldn't be more happier for Justin Fields, and I'm really excited to see what he can bring, and hopefully he can continue to grow and thrive in this offense.
Yeah.
And everything is on the up and up from here.
Yes.
He's gonna have a lot of people that's overly critical of him, but by all means, like I think he's with the right coach.
Yep.
I think he's with a team. He has a veteran quarterback in his ear.
Yeah.
Every day at practice and even on the sidelines at games. So I think he's in a situation where he can, yeah, for sure. But now I did want to touch on this. One of the most eye-popping stats that comes from this game, and like I said before, I'm going to touch on defense for the most part, right? The Steelers defense, they were stingy as well. They held J.K. Dobbins, who's been running over people all season to this point. They held him under 2 yards a carry. I think it was like 1.9 yards a carry, something like that. But that doesn't come to a surprise because we know how Steelers defense can be historic.
And Cameron Hayward in the middle, T.J. Watt on the end, and Roberts Spillane at linebacker. Mike Tomlin is the coach.
Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah,
man. Like, you can never count those guys out, and they're going to continue to build. And I'm expecting a lot of things out of the Steelers. I'm kind of like you. You know how me and you relate to our Dolphins and our Saints. Like, we don't want to get too excited. I'm not too excited about the Steelers yet, but it's good to see them trucking away.
I think that's a great way to put it because, in a way, the 3-0 start, Herbert left the game in the third quarter. It's a bit fluky, but I see the potential still. I still like them moving forward, even though they're 3-0.
And you saying Herbert leading the game is a precursor to what else we have lined up for the rest of the show. I don't mean to cut you off.
Well, I just wanted to point out one more thing.
Go ahead.
And this is a little nerd talk real quick.
Go ahead, get nerdy.
Yeah, get nerdy. So I just watched the game back a couple of hours ago because I wanted to take a close look at the Chargers Steelers, right?
Yep.
In that game, and the talk of the week has been, Mel Kiper comes out and says, we should ban 2 high safety looks, things of this nature, the cover 2 because we're not getting the explosive plays. Okay, the Chargers' first touchdown in that game came off cover 2 look from the Steelers. And then the drive that put the Steelers in position to tie the game at the end of the half with a field goal came off of Justin Fields recognizing coverage, utilizing his arm strength and throwing it down the sideline to George Pickens on a cover 2 look. Shannon Sharp's talked about it. Did the defense change when Peyton Manning threw for 55 touchdowns this season? We never had cover 2 outlawed. So this goes back to what you said. The quarterback play needs to be better. And that might go back to the fact that less guys are playing in the preseason.
Not only that, but also we're moving on from these players a little bit too quickly. Like, you throw them out there and you want them to be game ready from first snap, first practice, first game, whatever. But then you don't give him a chance. Hence the reason why Justin Fields is in the situation that he's in right now.
Yeah.
So we see him growing on the job. So it's good that she was able to recognize that. But also, like I said, that's another. We talked about how that's another discussion for another day.
Fair.
As far as
players
go. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, by the time, what time you got?
Right now it is 7:30.
7:30 on the top.
It's 7:30.
So this game is about to kick off.
It is.
Some live reactions to it. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, man.
We got a desperate team versus a strong AFC team.
Woo.
The desperate team is pretty damn talented.
It is.
Okay, the Jags made some off-season additions, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Yup.
I'm looking forward to the defensive effort the Jaguars are going to put up in this one.
Now, with the way that everything has been happening in this season, I would not be surprised if the Jags figured out a way to win tonight. Like, I would not be surprised if the Jags figured out a way to win tonight because this season has been highly unpredictable. Exactly. Now, some would say that the Bills are supposed to win, but that's what you call a trap game. If the Bills, if we're preparing as if they were going to come in and steamroll the Jags, that might be the downfall to all their preparation for the week.
Well, by the way, the 49ers were supposed to come into Los Angeles and steamroll the Rams.
Oh yeah.
And we know what happened in that one.
Exactly.
And you bring up a good point right there. This is a funky stat. Well, it's not even a stat. It's just going down the NFL schedule and looking at the results from yesterday. So there were 13 games played yesterday, right, Russ?
Right.
Over half of those 13 games, the team with the worst record compared to the opponent.
I don't want to. But we're watching live.
Here we go.
Josh
played the game.
Josh Allen and the Bills take over. In the first play of the game, you have a pass to James Cook up the sideline. Or it looked about like 12 to 15 yards. 20. Yeah.
But just to finish my point as to what I was saying, desperation in this league matters. We know that all these pros have the confidence.
Yeah.
But when the Rams are down 10 points to the 49ers in the fourth quarter and they're 0-2, they're thinking, hey man, we just gotta get this one.
Yeah.
Like, we're, by all means, we have to get this one. And that's why they did it. So, more than half of the games from yesterday, the team with the worst record coming in won the game.
Yeah.
No, that speaks to the desperation factor.
I mean, not only that, it's like sports battle of wounded by all means. But it didn't disappoint. It didn't disappoint at all. Like, these are two beat up teams, battle driven. The list goes on and on. Oh, the list definitely goes on and on. But what about Juwan Jennings?
Oh, pretty good. That's all I'm saying.
Juwan Jennings did his thing. 3 touchdowns throughout the game. Man, I feel bad for that guy. 3 touchdowns and your team still loses. That's tough. That's tough. And not only that, he was the first player to have that stat line since 2001. Man,
I will say,
yeah,
you just in terms of presence and size.
You got no choice though. You have no choice. Who else is out there? Who else is out there? You know what I mean? So you know, and not only like, so he had to touchdown, but Kyron Williams said, "I see your 3. I'm actually with a dub." Yeah. Like, come on, man. So that was a game that I see him out there. I know. I don't want to get too nerdy in my fantasy talk, but by all means, like Kyron Williams picking up right where he left off last year, and Juwan Jennings, if you were able to grab him off the waiver wire, what a hell of a find.
Good day.
What a hell of a find.
We got a 4-3.
Okay, let's go.
Those are at midfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, little motion.
Analytics saying go. Here we go. They get
that's still good.
Different target.
Yeah, different target.
Shakir with a bubble route. I guess that's what you call it, a bubble route to the outside.
Orbit motion.
And not exactly. And then the motion, the free motion snap, man. Like, this is one way that forces the defense to complete. And I was just about to say, like, this, not only that, but talk about how the defense, like, guys with their whatever coverage they're in, that motion encourages them to get out of whatever they think they're hiding for them. Bill's moving up the field right now. That is
exactly. I hope I'm not holding my field.
I mean, but this, you know, these plays are scripted. These plays are scripted and they're designed to work on the field. It's really when you get into the middle of the first quarter and you move on away from the script where things matter the most. I never held my head on someone coming out of the strong first because by all means, on up that. You know what I mean? Okay, you're gonna spend all week. You know what I mean? We're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. You probably got 15 minutes with. In the NFL, it's probably more than that, but by all means, right here. Jags coming with but bro, do you want to continue talking about these games, bro?
Might as well.
Yeah, let's go.
We can multitask.
Yeah, for sure.
You're already wearing 3 different hats today. Let's go.
Yeah, so let's talk Ravens Cowboys. This was my game. This was my game of the week. This was the outcome of. Man, like I said, I don't like the Cowboys, so by all means, like
they have a
what would that be? Ooh, speaking of the run, I guess they tapped into our show, Peyton. They finally listened to me and gave the ball to the monster truck of King Henry.
Yep.
Like, man, like it was good to see this dude like just running up and down the field by all means. And I wanna mention this. That stiff arm is golden, bro. That stiff arm is golden, man. I can't remember who he stiff arm, but man, like with a big athletic running back like that, so powerful of a guy, man. You know, the one thing I don't like about Derrick Henry is his run style. He's always running very high. Like his
hard enough. But I
get it, but he's like so strict leg. Like when you see all of these running backs, like when he's low, like low, and then he gets speed. But he's 250. Like he don't really need. Like it's gonna take a lot to bring him down. But yeah,
they handle business.
Yeah,
and again,
they almost gave it away. They almost gave it away. They were up 22 points, and they almost gave that game away. Yeah. Looking good, running untouched for a touchdown.
And they had a big 3rd and 6, to your point.
Yep.
The game was hanging in the balance. Put it on the first 2 plays of possession. Yep. 3rd and 6, time to go. Lamar did
100%. But I will say, going back to the defensive side of the ball, I think that they need to improve on their passing. If they want to get anywhere, they can't let go over time. And they also have to be a lot smarter and not give away as well. So I think those two items almost and all means they have to improve. Good games to build on. Yeah. Quality win. I'm doing the air quotes. Quality win.
Quality win
against a quality team. Right. So see where that leads them, man. Where we at on the game right now?
So we're at a commercial break.
Cool. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. So what did you get all your thoughts out about that game? Ravens Cowboys?
Pretty much, man. I mean, they came down to the Cowboys not being able to stop them function of the game.
Yep.
And then Lamar Jackson moving the defense.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 main takeaways. I mean, that's pretty much done for that.
I do want to say I'm looking at the Instagram live right now, man, and I want to thank everybody who's tuned in right now. If you tuned in right now and you're listening to us, man, by all means, drop a 100 in the chat, man. I'm also in the chat, so if you guys want to talk it up with me, by all means, I'm in there. Let me know what some of your thoughts was on the weekend's games. And yeah, let's continue the conversation, man. I'm wearing 101 hats today.
It might be more.
I'm wearing a bunch of hats, as Peyton said at the beginning of the broadcast, but we're having a good time, man. If you're not already, please make sure you follow us at the Sportaholics. And I'm kind of liking the vibe that we got going on.
Not too into the Jaguars Bills game.
Yeah.
We're live reacting to that as well. Yeah.
And your TV might be in front of ours, our TV might be in front of yours, but it's all good. Come back for the conversation and let's talk about it, man. Let us know who you got. Who you guys got tonight for the Jags Bills game? We're in Florida, so by all means, I'm gonna go with the home team tonight. I can see them pulling off the upset, but it's not looking good for them right now.
Yeah,
it's not looking good.
They got a big 3rd down.
Yeah. And they have a player.
I think that is the first round of Darius Jones. Got a 3rd and 5. Oh,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that whenever you want.
And for those who didn't get played, we knocked out at 35. I run right up into the basketball. Josh Allen doing Josh Allen thing. But look how smart he is also, man. Getting down on the ground, like he had the first down secure, let him play another down.
Right.
I know that's not what you want to hear right now, but you let him play another down.
Selling the play as well.
Yeah.
That slight function, getting the linebackers out there for just a second, even if it's one false step.
Yeah. So we got first and goal. Let's see if the Jags come over the top here.
They're going to have to respond.
Yeah.
Things are supposed to go right on that first drive. Let's see if the Jags can.
For sure. The Jags have plenty of talent, man. This is another one of the teams that I think, they have the pieces in place. And right here, right now, I like James. He's better than Dalvin. He's better than Big Bro.
And come back to it.
Man,
but it's close.
Yeah.
We know it's close.
Yeah, I mean, Dalvin had his time. He definitely had his time. His name's still
Whoa. Okay, wow. We missed that one.
We did.
We won't miss it.
We did. I can only assume that because it was so short. I don't see an NFL kicker hitting the ball off the back of somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
What else you got? You want to talk about the Chiefs Falcons game?
That was a great game.
Man,
it hit the under on the over on the total. It was a little more defensive than people would like.
Yeah.
But that continues with the we've seen the first 3 weeks of the NFL.
Man, I do agree that it was a good competitive game. But these are two offenses that are supposed to be high powered, right? So I could see anybody taking the over on this game because you would expect them to come out. You got Rasheed Rice, you got Xavier Worthy, you got Drake London, you got Bijan Robinson, you got Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts also scored. So you expect the top to be off when these two teams play. And that's just more of an ode and compliment to the defense on both sides. On both teams.
Sure. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I just mentioned Bijan, but the Chiefs defense, all the credit goes to the Chiefs defense because they held Bijan also under 3 yards per carry, and this is a guy who's a home run hitter. So anytime you follow him up, it's a hell of a day for any. And on the contrary, Carson Steele, man.
He's just a backup running back. He's just doing his job.
I don't know. You ever looked at somebody and you seen their face and you're like, man, that's the face that I want to punch. Not saying that that's the face that I want to punch. I just don't like him because I'm so used to Pacheco being back there. Yeah, so so for me, it's just weird to see Steele back there, but he did manage to rack up 72 yards. So big ups to him for filling in some shoes. That's pretty big shoes, especially if you've seen the way Pacheco run. He run like he got on really big shoes. So, yeah.
No, that I have to go back to what you just
Right.
Two good offensive minds between Andy Reid and Zach Robinson for the Falcons. The final score was so good. This goes back to the fact that there's always going to be it's on both sides of the ball. Creative. They find what he's doing. Move the ball through the offense.
And I'm happy because Chiefs, like I mentioned before, they're supposed to be, they are this high-powered offense. But even in close games, they find a way. So you talk about how at home go undefeated in the Super Bowl. They're out here doing side quests, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But they have struggled on the offensive side of the ball, finishing drive.
Especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So it's like I said, good teams or great teams find ways to win, and they did just that in this game.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have to. They played a little bit too close to the play. And coming back in, we got a second and 9 for the Jags here.
That's a good play by that. Could be a you can't play offset.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. I wanted to touch on the Blue Tank Chronicle.
Oh yeah.
And this is the injury report here. By all means, I'm not gonna go through the whole injury report, but there's some things that pop out to me, and I'm gonna get to that after this third down. Third and 9 here. All right, so right along back at the sideline, and you can go into most there. And it could have been
It's going to be hard to play.
Oh, we got a flag on the play. Oh, we got a flag on the play. Would it be roughing the passer or holding? Offense. Jackson.
Rough start, but it is a long game. We'll see how.
Yeah,
just go crazy.
You know, a Bills versus Miami game in Miami is more of a home game. Bro, like, the Bills travel so well and they have fans all over the place. Like, I couldn't imagine, like, they have a bit of success, but they have too much. And it's crazy. Man, it's crazy how strident who they are. Man,
And they're committed.
man.
One way to put it.
All right, so while the game is at commercial break, I didn't want to talk. I'm calling this Blue Tank Chronicles. So the Browns and the Dolphins have 21 players that have an injury designation on their team. Hey, how many people are on a roster?
So by the time you line it up on something like 53,
Okay.
then you include the practice squad, it gets up into the mid-60s.
Right.
Yeah.
By all, 53 players on Sunday.
Right.
21 of them have injury designation. Right. The Chiefs, they're 3-0. And they're missing their 3 players: Pacheco, Hollywood Brown, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, bro, like, I wanted to extend this list, but what is that saying about how many injuries? I didn't even touch on the hip, the Justin Herbert. Sorry. I haven't touched on any of the Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel. Like, I haven't touched on any of those guys.
You went to other teams.
You know what I mean? So, like, what is that saying about this year? Like, is it just me, or is a lot of players banged up?
It seems like a bit of a trend because I remember season.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've talked about building up preseason houses and trying to play more in preseason, get into those, build up those calluses,
Yeah.
but maybe the game is so violent nowadays where, like I said earlier in this episode, the athletes are really stronger than that. And the field is outstanding.
You're saying that the game is the game more violent than it was 15, 20 years ago?
According to the rules, it's
Okay.
but according to the guys that are strapping up and flying around,
Right.
it might be. What say you?
I don't think it's more violent. I think in the 80s you could rip a helmet off and you could throw it in the stand. You can't do like you're gonna get a fine. You're gonna get a fine now. You're gonna be suspended for multiple games. Like,
So how do you? I love it. I don't really have to. answer.
Yeah, and I don't want to make an excuse for it, but we did talk about how they plan on shortening the preseason. I think, like you just said, Dallas is. You don't have to play the entire game, but you need to play at least like you have. And then we know that these teams are having their joint practices and things of that nature. Like those need to be all over. And I think the main thing is that in the past we've seen players get injured in preseason games. Who wants to lose their star athlete in the preseason? You know, but what difference does it make if you lose them in the first 2 weeks of the season? Right? So if you guys have to figure out a way to keep these athletes safe, because it's not just minor injuries like freaking bruised elbow or whatever the case may be. We're seeing high ankle, we're seeing Achilles, we're seeing concussions, we're seeing things that's taking these guys out of the game for 4 to 8 weeks, putting them on injury reserve. You know what I mean? So I've seen a whole bunch of high ankles. That's a part of the game. I get it. Something has to be a reason why these people are doing it. Not only just any athlete, smart players. Fantasy is going crazy. Fantasy is like, yeah. We're going to talk about Christian McCaffrey in a minute. It's 2nd and 10 for the Bills. All right, they complete a pass in the middle of the field.
Maybe another third down for them.
What is it, about 33?
Something like that. Yeah. Again, the Jags are in the next first spot.
Let's see. You're being 3rd and 4.
Again, you have to.
Yep. That is all hard. Okay. So you see they got 5 in the box right now, 6 in the box right now. All right. Dolphins in the pig. Grab a sideline.
You know that third down, typically in the NFL, is a man down. They got a defensive right, Josh Allen, up the spot.
But talk about your point, Joe Brady.
Yeah, Joe Brady.
Hey, talk about him. You like that?
You can draw it up. And I saw him up close and personal in 2019.
Yeah,
it was basically all shotgun RPO. If you're not RPO, you're dropping back.
Right.
Now he gets to go up the personnel. So he's really effective.
And then look at the ladies and team. And they were beastly last year, but this year they seem a lot more smooth and like they're operating very fluently. We'll see exactly what the Bills have to offer. Hopefully, the Jags can make a turnover or something like that. But you know the Bills don't turn over the ball that much. So we'll see. Yeah.
The Jags, you got to handle in there.
Got no choice.
What was the Rams were down against the Niners in the third quarter?
But the Jags can't do that. Yeah, the Jags can't do that. No. Okay. Wow. They definitely had an opportunity. We were just talking about the turnover. They had an opportunity to still do right there.
A great play for Yale.
Yeah. All right. So we're just sitting here on the live, man. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we can let the people go as we tune in.
Enjoy their Monday night.
Man, and watch a little bit more of it. But thank you guys for joining in. To everybody who was watching this live. If you didn't watch it live, it's all good. Make sure you go back and watch it on replay. But we have to do this again. This was the Monday night special. This was something I like the back and forth.
And the live reaction.
Yeah, it's a lot of work on my end.
It is. He's wearing multiple
So by all means, guys, like at least show me some love. Drop a heart in the comments for me doing everything, man. I produced the show. I was the technical director. I was the producer. I'm the cameraman.
Host, just keeps going on and on.
Hey, listen, but
Just stack on your head.
oh my gosh,
Just to
listen,
show it.
listen, but I'll do anything for my guy Peyton here, man. We are the Sportaholics. I'm living the brand right now. You guys can expect a lot more from us, and I'm really looking forward to finishing out this year. I'm looking to transition into basketball, man. You know, I don't want to say too much, but we also have something else in the works for our community. So when we get more details on that and we get more organized with that, we'll let you guys know, and we'll love to have your support on that as well. And anything that we're not covering and you guys want to see, by all means, please feel free to let us know. Drop us a comment on the video, shoot us a DM on IG. Peyton, he's operating the X account. So, man, just join in and tune into the conversation.
Let us know what you want to hear about, what you want to see us talk about. We're game for it all. You know.
All right, let's put in first and goal. James took up the middle for a gain of about 3. So we will finish this drive with you guys. So once this drive is over, whether it's a field goal, touchdown, turnover, whatever the case may be, we will log out. But, like I said before, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, there was a little more on the
You know what's
we're gonna have it. So I like talking culture. It's refreshing for me because usually my head.
Yeah. Second and goal here from the Jags, the 8-yard line, about 6-yard line. All right. There we go.
And he's gaining the.
Oh, another opportunity for us to go to flag on the play.
Maybe they'll pull this off.
It doesn't happen too often.
It doesn't happen too often.
It doesn't happen too often. Yeah.
Hey man, just a quick note. When you get a team that's enough. Oh, we got Boston. Okay. But that's just a good explanation as to why it's scoring. And when you get in that area and you kind of pass the ball and you put it on the run, it's not that you're thinking for how deep is the end. Extra, however many yards.
So the one thing I will say, that's a bend don't break mentality. And all defenses have them. All right, you can drive down the field.
That's my man.
Is that 30 seconds for the Bills?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the handoff.
Right. That's why I was confused. I'm like, who is that? But go ahead.
That's really it. Like, it's hard to score. Which is so it's playing more of that and don't style. We'll see. Touchdown.
Third and goal.
Josh
Allen coming back. Back of that.
I'm just gonna say, I thought it was holding on the right side.
I'm
not trying to be biased.
No, I did see that as well. The referee not called it.
Trayvon was also.
Yeah.
Trayvon Walker.
And he did Josh Allen probably that was higher, but he was probably with a player.
Which they're not. Yeah, you gotta move on.
Bills up 12-0 right now. 3.5 left to go in the first quarter. And they go up on the field goal. Man. So, like I said before, thank you guys for tuning in with us. Now we are working on our studio.
Yeah.
We got the TV going up here, and we're looking back, and everything is just kind of crazy right now. But we are gonna grow, and we hope that you guys grow with us. So, yeah, man. Until next time, Peyton, it's always a pleasure, bro. And like I said, we're gonna grow as one, and we hope.
And again, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah.
We appreciate a lot.
Yeah. We're gonna grow with you. Hopefully, you guys are patient with us, and I think we have a good thing. We're looking forward to it, man. But until next time, we're out. We are the Sportaholics. Let's do it. Let's get back to the game. Let's get back to it.